guess I'll introduce myself. I'm DJ's friend and colleague, Mez, I go by Mez for short. I'm an IT professional, so I figured he figured I'd be a good guy to interview him and kind of get some background on Tech One. So let's start off with that and tell us about Tech One, how long you've been involved in it, and why'd you get into that space?
Tech One, I've been in the business for about 7 years now. In the latter part, the first 5 years, us working in India, me and my partner, who's co-founder, Michael Balihu, also Ethiopian, decided to move our operation in Ethiopia. And politics and things like that played a big part into that. And it's been great. So we obviously focus on software development for entrepreneurs and also small businesses. And yeah, it's been a great run so far. That's a little bit about Tech One.
So you do a lot of mobile app development.
Yeah, a streamlined focus on mobile apps, but now we're getting into more full platforms like web apps as well, and then any other systems like bots or algorithms that need to run in the background that are not so much consumer facing. Okay. And then we've also added a media platform to Tech One in the past 6 months where we kind of bring awareness to certain topics that are divisive in the tech space.
Oh, nice. So I guess we could look at this interview like I'm a customer, and we'll go through the whole process from beginning to end of what it takes to get Tech One involved in launching a mobile app or one of the products you guys create and offer. So walk us through that process. What's step one? I'm a client and I have this great idea and I want to get it out onto the Apple Store or Google Play Store. What's step one in Tech One's day to bring that app to life?
It's really easy. Scheduling a time to talk with you and getting a chance to really understand yourself, the business that you're in, whether it's a new idea or it's something that's solving a problem. That stage is like really critical for us. We like to sit down with you and we have our business analysts on the call as well, where we kind of dissect everything about the problem that you want to solve, what kind of solution, and if there's any other references out there in the market that are doing the same thing. That's what we consider like our research and business analyst phase. Just really taking out the time to understand the behaviors of everything in that space from the business aspect before we even talk about technology.
Yeah, so do a lot of your clients even understand that part, or are they just coming in?
Yeah, they definitely do. I think at that stage, it's not really technical understanding. It's more or less understanding like, let's just say if you owned a hot dog stand, we would like to know like the size of the hot dogs, how long it takes for the hot dogs to be ready and cooked, where are you getting them from, what kind of buns you need, what time are you open, is there insurance, is there permits involved? That helps us in understanding the business before we even talk about implementing any technology. And then once we have a great understanding of the business, we move over to obviously building out the research for user experience and then putting some brand and identity to it with design. And then obviously we can go into development. And after development, you do testing and then you're releasing the products on the App Store. So again,
so I'm a small business owner and I got an app. What's the price range? What payment can I expect to come out of pocket to bring an app to life?
Very good question. That is a question that over every day I'm getting better at it. And the reason why is there's so many ways we could do that. Let's just say if you decide to build an application for a business, there's MVP levels, there's beta levels, which could go very low cost, right? Prototypes. We could go as low as the client needs us to go, and we can go as complex as we need them to go. So we can build the full platform in and out from top to bottom. Obviously, that's more on the expensive side. But we've had projects where someone has approached us with a great idea and just wanted us to prototype, give them the basic functionality, and let them go back to their investors. So it really just, to answer your question, it really depends on the entrepreneur and what their plans are with raising capital, if they are in a position where they have a budget, or if they're in just prelim position where they just have an idea and they want to go out and then get the budget to pursue that idea. So that's really the easiest way I can answer it. I've seen projects that were the same as other projects where someone came in and spent $2,000 on a prototype basic functionality application for one side, which is iPhone, just to go show investors. And I've seen that same entrepreneur come to us and build that entire platform out for a $20,000 budget over a 3-4 month period and actually go to market. So really depends.
And of course, the bigger the user base, the higher the cost will be for the client as well, I assume.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing about being in 2021, now that Amazon offers serverless platforms, which allows the entrepreneur to have the ability to scale up with the business. So if
Auto
you're
scaling.
exactly, so if you're planning to monetize, you don't have to go in paying a hefty penny up front just to have the space that you may not use for your users if you're not able to grow it, right? So, and if you are able to grow it, that's a plus symbol for you, obviously, and you being able to obviously monetize and afford that server cost. So things are getting easier for the entrepreneur by the day.
All right, so let's talk about the next step. What are the requirements? Does the customer even know what features are available to whatever app they have in mind? How do you walk that customer through that process?
Well, what we like to do is we like to tell the customer that obviously from the research phase that we're going to do our due diligence of understanding that there are APIs out there that we're able to plug in. We're going to do a quick scan or a deep scan of what APIs are out there. And then it's our job to explain that to the customer. Obviously, the customer doesn't have to have any technical skills to build an app. That's our job.
Yeah.
So we'll do our due diligence of making sure that if there are any bridges or APIs that can be plugged in to save time and money, we'll take care of that. So that's typically that falls on us as a tech company.
All right, so customer hands it over. You guys have those first 3 or 2 meetings. What about delivery time? How long will it take from the moment we establish my requirements to it being available and live?
So that's the best thing about that phase, right? Is it gives us an understanding. See, that phase can take however long it needs to. But once that phase is over and we both agree this is the requirements, now we just get to put hands to work. And there's not much you can change during that process. Why? Because timelines are fluctuated when changes come in the middle of production. So what we do is we like to tell the client that, hey, look, let's take as much time as we need to hammer down what we want to hammer down in the requirements. And then from there, we go through the user experience, we go through the production stage, and then we go to the test stage. That is always determined off of additional features, right? So what I see is I've seen some projects that are completed a month in advance, but there was no interaction with the stakeholder as far as adding additional features during that production phase. And I've seen some projects take 8 months with an agile methodology where everybody's constantly throwing in new ideas. Hey, can we add this? Hey, can we add that? And that's great, but that does stretch out timelines. So it all depends on understanding what you want from that research phase and committing to it until it's completed. That helps us speed up timelines.
All right, so a sophisticated client would likely say, all right, let's get to the testing phase. I don't want to streamline this. I want it to be perfect. What are we doing to test it and make sure there's no bugs before we get it live and available on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store?
That's a great question as well. It goes back to the research phase. Once we realize your market, right? And that's why we want to understand your business. We'll understand your users. We'll understand the behaviors of your users. Let's just say if you want to open up a business in a country like Ethiopia, for a second, we would understand the common phone used in Ethiopia, the data that's being transmitted back and forth, the broadband, other carrier coverages issues and things like that. And then we would put those into an environment where we would take scenarios that are thought out from that business research phase as well. And we would start testing in those scenarios. We would test every in any way possible as far as scenario wise. And then we'd make sure that all the phones that you're going to end up having as users are well prepared as far as test cases go. So
I take it you guys got a selection of phones you guys test the app against?
Yes,
all versions of iPhones.
We use a lot of different tools. We use some simulators, some phones that we have different series and models in, and we use off Wi-Fi, on Wi-Fi, on data, off data. And we do every possible scenario there is. Yes, we do have a select amount of phones that we typically target.
Okay, makes sense. So, all right, then the last phase, which is probably the most important, post-release. So you're done with the app, you tested it, we got all the requirements. Now, only 3 people a month are downloading it. How can you help me with that?
Yeah, that's a great thing. I mean, back in the day, when I first started in this business, it was just software development and that was it. Now it's becoming software development and digital marketing and a great understanding of the market. And then you have to have a paid advertising plan of some sort. There's no way in this day and age that you can organically grow anything anymore. The algorithms from Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Google are all required to have some kind of payment for advertising. Great thing about it is they've made it very affordable. It's pay per click now. or it's more or less impressions on Instagram versus how many views. So that's a great thing. So we definitely would put together a paid advertising campaign. We'd put together organic strategy and campaign. We'd fulfill all the social media platforms that we felt like were great for you. We'd make an affordable cost depending on how much you want to scale up. We'd understand your goals. And then, yeah, we'd put together a really good social media strategy and campaign.
All right, man, quick and easy. So that's how to get your app from idea, from blueprint to life with the help of TechOne. So
Yeah.
that's all I got for you, man. I appreciate your time.
No, thank you, Mez, and I really appreciate it. And it was great to be able to discuss this from start to finish.
All right.